So we have a Mickey Mouse preseason tournament with questionable preparation put forth, players or entire teams on unreasonable ping, and a lot of teams having made some questionable swaps and choices and match-altering moments for the sake of limit testing players and strategies. However, just because this may not be the most high-stakes tournament, it's not like anyone plays to lose with 100k in prize money on the line, so I can hate on every team responsibly. The Florida Mayhem may have gone 4-0 in groups, but their best opponent was a 200 ping San Francisco Shock, and even then, they were very close to being 2-0. With that being said, their strategies look good. Committing to someone's aggression is a fantastic decision that gives the team an identity, and the RuPaul Checkmate Goon Squad adventures with Kiriko Tracer on the flanks have been executed to perfection in a way no other team has matched. Still, even with the additions of Mara and Chorong, the question with Florida has always been the same. Do they have the star power to make a dent? I have no questions about someone in Chorong, and Checkmate even seems to have broken out in the qualifiers. But does he and RuPaul really match up to the likes of players such as Decay or Shu? Their improvements have been noticeable, but I'm not confident it's enough. The London Spitfire are hoping and praying that team synergy is enough to get them a round win versus Florida, but even that would be a massive upset. They looked good when they won, but the best team they beat were the Saints. They got absolutely rolled and smoked by Atlanta in both a Winston mirror and a Rush mirror. They literally looked like diamond players in top 500 lobbies out there. Now, a lot of teams would struggle versus Atlanta, but if you can't hold a candle in a rush duel, what can you do, London? You certainly cannot play double flex support. This whole team should be imprisoned for what all the Owl viewers were forced to witness when Skyreaper and Landon were in versus Vegas. The power of friendship needs to be a performance-enhancing drug, and Sparker needs to go absolutely insane for London to be a threat. The Boston Uprising looked pretty good in groups, not even dropping a map, but they are not even close to unbeatable. The Gladiators and the Justice were able to fight back and could have easily taken a map or two had things gone their way. Birdring being back and looking clean is massive for them, and the team as a whole are nasty mechanically. I mean, Birdring and Decay were running the lobby each and every match. That's all though. The rest of this team was actually a bit underwhelming. I mean, against the real team, Smurf had some good moments on Doomfist and Winston, I guess, but the backline was not going nuts or anything. The Uprising weren't particularly in sync with their dives either, and their strategy looked almost non-existent. Pure mechanics might be enough to get them to the finals because of their side of the bracket, but even that is questionable. And if they manage, they still have to go against whatever monster comes out of the bottom side of the bracket. The Toronto Defiant, as a team, surpassed my expectations. Taking Houston the distance is not going unnoticed. Every member of this team had some highlights, but also some lowlights, other than Hydron, who was just a different breed. Speedly's Tracer was better than expected, not elite by any means, but good enough to hang. However, he also got rolled by Shu more times than I can count on one hand. Sam was subbed in on Cassidy, and he honestly didn't play bad, but compared to what Hydron was cooking, it's a tough look. UV had some big plays, but he also died first far too often to random bullshit. And then Kaluge. His Diva and Sigma were top of the food chain, best we've seen so far even. But there is one glaring weakness in the Winston department if this team wants to be real and actually win. His Winston is decent, above average even, but it was easily exposed by Shu in their math, and compared to the great kings of Winston gameplay like Fearless, Someone, or Smurf, Kaluge is a peasant barely staying off the streets. When they aren't trolling, the Houston Outlaws are the real deal. Their backline combines complete flexibility with terrifying star power unlike ever seen before in the history of Overwatch. Shu and Violet already have great synergy and look to be the best around. Fearless is doing his thing on Winston and whipping out some other characters just to keep it fresh. Pelican has grinded his Tracer in the offseason, and he could finally have conquered what was holding him back from being one of the absolute best DPS in the entire league. The only individual gripe I have is that Happy Sombra makes me frown. The value he gets on hard hit scan is far superior to his Sombra. When Houston are a serious team, they are a true contender and have potential to take it all the way. The San Francisco Shock might be playing from Korea at 5 AM, but they are still the Shock. Even a nerfed proper is enough to strike fear into the strongest team. Never ever doubt his ability to kill 5 and solo carry. especially since they started putting him on Tracer over Heesang. For the rest of the Shock though, they are not looking too hot right now on ping, especially Vindame and Heesang. Vindame does not look like the player he was last season at all, in any way whatsoever. Everything is wrong. His timing, positioning, his ults, it's just not working. Heesang as well. Sometimes bro is just shooting at his demons. It's not really their fault either. They just have 200 ping, but it is not pretty to watch. The tank line are a bit better off though. Shout out to Junbin for making Doomfist work. I just don't want to see Max on Winston over Junbin. Also, if my theory is correct, Max only came in to play Winston because Junbin was too loud, woke up his mom, and got yelled at to go to bed. So we'll see if he can quiet down. With their current situation, I think it's a bit unreasonable for them to make any kind of run, but they also aren't going to roll over and die because they are still the Shock. The Atlanta Reign are the team to beat. There is no question that they are here to make a statement that they are the best team. There was no trolling, no slowing down, just full speed ahead, utter domination of any team that was unlucky enough to cross their path. Lip is making NA look like easy bots. Stalker is owning his role as a full-time player. The Vigilante, Fielder, Chio backline seems to have no weaknesses, and by the way Hawk is playing, you'd think he speaks fluent Korean. Also, Donghack is in the country, so they now have even more options to run. They are relatively unproven, with their toughest opponent being London, but the dominance they showed instills more confidence in them than any of the other top seeds. This team is so good, even with Gator running the ship, they are far and beyond the favorite to win this entire thing. Their raw skill is just out of this world. The general fears of the LA Gladiators have pretty much come true at this moment, and then some. The backline does feel like it's missing something, and I don't think Babel or Lastro have played particularly poorly, but they haven't stood out much either. Dante has struggled to look solid on any tank other than Ramatra, and Kai played well against the lower tier teams, but was a non-factor versus Boston. Any hopes of upsetting the Reign in round 1 and making a decent run are all on Kevster. Despite the world falling down around him, Kevster has continued to put up MVP level performances in every match and every situation. If Kev somehow manages to defy the odds, I don't care. Lock him in as an MVP candidate. He has my vote off of a fucking preseason match. This guy's insane. I think the Glads are going to use this as an opportunity to learn and grow as a team, because this squad has some big shoes to fill in the regular season. Despite the questionable competitive integrity and lower stakes of the tournament, it's still exciting to see which team will come away with the title. The offseason has been so long, and the future of Owl is always uncertain, so I'm just going to enjoy the present and also hate on the present while I can. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more Overwatch League content. Have yourself a good one. Deuces.